So it's Tuesday. That means I'm going to spoil our podcast episode for the week. So if you have not listened to our podcast, how is you cool? No, I'm just kidding. Um, but no, why haven't you listened to it? It's available on Apple, Spotify, all of the things. It's called the Bootrospective Podcast, as you see at the top. And we pretty much spoil books and then talk about them a little bit. Our format is ever evolving. We're still just mini podcasters, but we're here. So this week we covered The White Guy Dies First by 13 authors. It was edited by Terry J. Benton Walker. He is also one of the authors. This is different. Obviously, I really can't spoil it too much like I normally would because it would take me forever. So I'm just going to tell you what each story was. The premise of this book is that there's a black, is he an author or a film student kind of thing? Anyways, he kind of goes missing, and so do like 13 white males surrounding like these films and stories. And ignore my son in the background if you hear him. You guys know I'm a mom. Anyways, so there's 13 stories. So the first one is All Eyes on Me. That author is the same author as Where Sleeping Girls Lie. And I don't like to mispronounce her name, but her first name is Frida. That is about a girl who like has an encounter with like a carnival or a circus and like is kind of in like an identity crisis and is in a relationship with a white man who she does not want to be in a relationship with. The second one is Hedge by Kaylin Barron. And basically these two black boys, their dad like mysteriously died, and then they go to the place where he died, which is a topiary garden. And all I can say is that the hedges are alive. So there's that. The third one is called The Golden Dragon by Kendare Blake. This are two Korean girls who have like fell on with this group of very rich snotty white kids and have been mistreated by them, even SA'd by the same guy. And one of them is possessed and takes revenge on the group. That was the third one. The fourth one is, I'm looking at my notes. I normally don't do that, but I want to get these right. The fourth one is Best Served Cold by H.E. Edgman. This is about Native Americans. There's two brothers. One of them goes to visit the other one on the reservation, and then when he's leaving, he gets like kidnapped, kind of like by like this skinwalker flesh carnivore people eating monster thing. And he really doesn't get saved until it's like too late. So there's that one. The fifth one is called The Protege by Lamar Giles. Two black brothers. One of them is like the protege to their neighbor who is a magician. The magician leaves him a package, and these like other like magician witches hunt him down. The magician ends up murdered, and basically this lady is like reincarnated out of this package and saves the younger boy. Also, just because this book is called The White Guy Dies First does not mean that only the white guy dies. There are stories in which the non-white characters also die, because some of the reviews are nasty, and obviously they didn't read the book. The next one is Docile Girls by Chloe Gong, and this is a girl who is Asian, I believe, Asian American, and she, like, her white boyfriend breaks up with her, and all of his friends then break up with her, and they get locked into the school gym, like, preparing for a dance, and there's a murderer amongst them, so is she gonna make it out? She does. Then we have Grey Grove by Alexis Henderson. This is a friend group of podcasters. One of them is white. One of them, I believe, is black. I don't think it ever specifies. And they go to a freaking plantation where someone was murdered from a lagoon monster. And then when the monster comes out, the white friend decides to record instead of run. And she gets sucked into the marshy lagoon by the demon monster also. Tales all the time. Then there is Everything's Coming Up Roses. This was one of our favorites and one of our favorite authors. This is Tiffany D. Jackson, who also wrote Monday's Not Coming, one of our favorite books. This is a literal psychopath. It's written as journal entries of a girl named Lisa, who is not only working at Home Depot so that she can stalk this guy, but she also has access to all of the supplies at Home Depot, and she is gardening and planting roses that her grandma keeps asking her not to plant because she plants roses when she murders people as she works at Home Depot. Yeah, that one was 5 stars. Then we have Heaven by Adiba I'm not going to try to pronounce her last name. First name is Adiba. This is essentially heaven is a place, and everyone thinks like, heaven is the only place they can be. The outside world is toxic. They can't live out there without masks and stuff. One of the girl's friend goes out there. They think she's dead, but she's actually like had to like die her first death to like live underwater, where like all these people that heaven left outside of their gates, and to basically join those group of people, she kills her friend thinking that he's going to be able to join her too. But she actually realizes that, oh, I just killed him. He's not actually going to be able to join us. So then we have Break Through Our Skin by Nassim Jamnia. This is a non-binary character, and they are like working with archaeologists, and they are possessed by like a mummy. So yeah, and then their family, their parents accept them at the end of that story. The next one is number 11 is Wasp by Mark Ashiro, and this is a a family of Latinas who are protecting what their like ancestors found in their family home in like Brooklyn, New York, which is a demon that requires a sacrifice. And every time they need this demon to help them, they have to like cut off a piece of their body and feed it to them. And gentrification is trying to take their home from them, and that is how they save their home. And then the last one is, there's two more, not the last one. The next one I really like. This is, Hell is Other Demons by Karen Strong. This is basically, a Black girl who is in love with her friend who is not a lesbian, even though the girl is like, she's probably like either not sure or experimenting, but she's now dating this white guy who decides he wants to summon a demon. Forget ghosts, summons a demon, he's murdered, and then the girl is like the other girl, the one who's interested in the friend, is also killed trying to save her. And the girl who like remains alive, her father is a preacher, like a Baptist Southern preacher. So then like the girl who dies is like basically offered this thing by like a demon in hell, like, hey, hell's overpopulated. Do you want to go back and like bring that demon back? Because that demon's kind of out of control and killing too many people. So then she like possesses the dad and gets him killed. But then she decides to just stay in hell and, be a badass demon hunter. So there's that. Then the last one is The Road to Hell by Terry J. Benton Walker. And this is basically a possessed house who is trying to get, there's two dads and a son named Danger. And the house wants them to stay there. And basically, if you die at this house, you are stuck there, a very murder house. And they are like flipping this house and, basically they do end up getting out. A few of them end up getting out at the end and taking out this house. I really liked the last one as well. It was a really good short story. I would love to see several of these become full stories. And then, that's kind of like the wrap up for that. So I highly recommend that you read this. It was a very fun read. It's YA. So like, there are triggers, but like it's YA, so it's not like the worst it could be as someone who reads horror books. But if you would like to hear about that in more detail, again, go check us out over on our podcast, and I will be back next Tuesday to spoil our next episode.